Hey guys, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge, brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage. Today we got a special guest from Houston, Texas, the lovely and beautiful Kate Myhan, right? Correct me, Kate, because I know you're going to
Right.
correct me.
Kate Myhan, yes, I love correcting people. If I know better, if I don't know better things, I definitely know my name. So on license, just I made this really easy for you. On license, it's Katarzyna. So I go by Kate to make it easy. So if anybody wants to look me up, my record, my production, it's Katarzyna, but I do go by Kate.
Well, welcome to the show. We only bring top tier realtors from across the country on this show, so we already know your production is great and everything else. But let's talk a little about you, Kate. How long have you been a realtor?
Realtor, I got my license in April 2019.
Okay.
However, 10 years ago in 2014, I started investing myself in residential real estate. So later on, I decided that why all these places that I own produce some people that end up buying, and I'm not representing these people because I had few Airbnbs and I just traveled the world. I'm like, oh, I enjoy my life. But then how long you can travel the world? The world is limited. So, then I decided to serve people with real estate services.
That's an interesting background. Hang on, I'm going to rewind that just a little bit. So, did you travel the world for entertainment? Were you working? What were you doing?
I traveled the world for 2 years when I had those Airbnbs, and I was at that time modeling. I was younger, so it's really easy because I'm multilingual. So people need salespeople and beautiful people all over the world. So it's always been a blessing to quickly find some sales jobs to do. Well,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I hear a little bit of an accent, and I know where you're from, but our audience doesn't know where you're from. So, what's your nationality? Where are you from, Kate?
I was born in Poland, and that's where I spent most of my life. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of Polish clients, even though people is like, oh, the cultures should get together. Most of my clients are immigrants and from other countries. I do speak Spanish too because I lived in Latin America, and I do speak French because I studied in France. So those French and Polish clients are minority. We are in Texas, so maybe 50% of my residential clients speak Spanish only. And they're very happy when they call and they struggle to say something. And then they ask me, ¿Hablas español? And I say yes. And they're like, oh my God. And they're shocked because they see my blondie photo on the sign, and they think, oh, gringa habla español, like the white woman speaking Spanish. And then they're all happy that they found somebody that cares for them and speaks their language because I'm immigrant. I came here and I already spoke English, but a lot of people come and feel lost, especially if they're about to sign the lease or buy a house and nobody can answer their questions. They don't understand what's going on. The giving that feeling of comfort and understanding is very imperative for relationships in our industry.
That's awesome. So, of all the places you can land, you landed in Houston, Texas. How long have you been in Houston?
I came to Houston in 2019.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2009. 2009. The reason I said that is because, like, again, I barely hear you. I think I'm aging.
And of course. So in
2009,
2009.
2009. So it's been 15 years that I came to Houston. But meanwhile, I lived 1 year in Florida.
Okay.
Texas is better than Florida. If anybody has any questions or is a buyer that wants to relocate from Florida, they should give you a call or me a call. We'll tell them why they should move here or any other states. But I only made 1 year in Florida and 1 year in Santiago de Chile in Latin America. And I always come back to Texas, and I think it's the best state with the best people. And, in the real estate, we cannot really say this is the best, but this is the best place where everybody should want to live because of cost of living, awesome people like you and I, and opportunities that anybody can access.
Well, you're kind of a unique breed. So 2019 to 2024, five
No,
years
no,
in real.
2009, not 19. I'm
I know
mistaken.
2009 Houston, but
Oh,
you've only been a
license. Yes,
realtor since
yes.
2019. So you've only been a realtor for 5 years, but you're doing some amazing stuff for the 5 years that you've been in it. Did you just hit the ground running? What I mean, talk
No,
to
this
me
is
about
what I
that.
tell people. We can't compare each other. Everybody should always strive to give their own best. And I have a lot of friends that come and say, "I want to be like you." because you're so amazing. And I said, well, you're amazing too, but your time is divided between your dog, your spouse, your daughter, your house. Everybody that I know are highly dedicated people that give their best to what they do. The difference is I have greater amounts of time and also strong background in sales. So I had my first company when at the age of 16. So you can't, if somebody has been entrepreneur all their life, it's easy. If somebody quitting their job or being all their life W-2 and there is put in entrepreneurial life of their real estate agent, is totally different story. And that transition sometimes is successful, sometimes isn't. I do offer right now coaching to people that look at me, look up at me, want to be like me. But I always say you cannot be Kate. You have to be your truthful self, and I can help you find that leverage that will make you elevated in the industry, because each of us has different talents, and I like to be that inspiration that allows people to reveal their talents and elevate them in what they can be the best at. And they were like, oh, but mentorship should be free. And then I always tell them, well, I took all the NAR and HAR, all the possible courses first year. And yesterday I was at the real estate event where we were panelists, and they were saying how many sales each did in the first year. In the first year, even though all of my colleagues did a bunch of transactions, I'm top producer, all this stuff, I haven't done a single transaction. And because just like everything else I do, I was building grounds to success. I took all the courses with local association to know my tools. I took other commercial courses, even though I was the only residential agent. I like to have broad picture of the industry to know how I can best deliver. And if you don't have comprehensive knowledge, what are your tools and what is your playground, you cannot really play. So I didn't do sales, I did education, and the same with the languages. I first learned the language, then I came to United States. Some people might have immediate need for income and might just try to make a deal. Well, it's their choice. We all have different ways of acting and performing our responsibilities, and that's just the way I did it. I don't know what to say, because again, it's top performance. It's each of us has different levels. As long as we give our best, I think that what matters.
So you've done a lot of different jobs in your past. A model, a real estate investor. What else did you do in the past, Kate? Anything else that
Before
I'm missing?
entering real estate industry, I was in healthcare industry for a few years. So at that time, I was dealing with a lot of doctors and a lot of contracts, and also very profitable, very good industry. That brought me a lot of contacts and a lot of confidence as a businesswoman, because I started very simple as a medical assistant, and I was practice manager. And then I had distribution company for implants and biologics. So I had to deal with a lot of contracts, professionals, and that built my confidence in interactions and negotiations and managing simple talks, just like we have. We don't have a script, but we've been doing what we're doing for years, and we've been talking to thousands of people every month to help them. And we know what problems they have, and we can address those problems because the problems repeat, and we already have magic solutions because we've been there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's awesome, Kate. Well, what do you love about the real estate business? You've done a lot of things. It sounds like you found your niche. What is it about real estate that you love so much?
I know it will sound weird, but it's really that unpredictability, because I've learned all possible certifications in residential and commercial real estate, and I always feel I'm like, oh, now I should probably write the courses. There is nothing else to learn. But then I get a case with the bankruptcy or foreclosure or some things that I haven't seen in my sales process, and I have to find solution for my clients. So I feel every deal I learn something new, and sometimes it's on transactional part, and sometimes it's on the relationship part. So maybe 2 years ago, I got certified in personality assessment. It's called DISC. The headquarters in
Yeah.
Austin,
Yep.
and I felt it's very good for recruiting and also managing relationships with clients. So what I've learned through few transactions is that people that have the same personality like me, and other people, they seek that. I have problems with those buyers or sellers because they don't have that feeling of control, because I'm controlling everything. So the little things that are of human nature or transactional nature, there is always something in the deal, either from the individuals or for particular, problem that helps me grow and be better professional. And I can say with confidence that probably can solve at least 90 to 95% of the problems that can appear in residential commercial real estate transaction. And it's not only me. Everybody that wants to be successful and grow needs people they can call or refer to, because the unit cannot grow. We can only grow as a team, as a, just like you and I. We want to grow our business because we want to help people. So we have same intentions. So if we don't have those reference people that we can call, like I have 3 attorneys, if I have something that I'm questioning myself, or my broker doesn't answer, I need to call somewhere, and then I find those answers. And sometimes I talk to 2, 3 professionals to get their opinion how we best find solution for my clients.
That's awesome. Well, let's go down memory lane a little bit. Okay, what's that? I know you've done a ton of transactions to now. What's that one transaction that you did that you said, you know what, this is why I'm real estate. This is why I love it. Can you think of one transaction? I know you have a ton.
Yeah, I
When
can
you
I
go
can
back
give
on,
you
you're like,
one
you know
that is
what?
very touching. Actually, I encourage everybody to sign up to my YouTube to find it there, or on my Instagram. Um, it was residential transaction. It was small amount, but you can see on the videos it was a veteran, blind veteran, that I sold his first house. And I have video. He's walking with the stick with his daughter. We're walking in a title company, and he says on my testimonial video that I was the only agent that answered the call, because the 50% of success is to be responsive. Because if we don't answer those calls, somebody else will. And or client is so discouraged of lack of response that they just give up on their buying process. And that was very touching. And I was representing buyer for, so I was actually even joking that this man trusts me blindly because he didn't see the house we were buying. And that was very, how to say, fulfilling to have that level of trust. And I mostly work with sellers at my stage of the career. Very rarely with buyers. But if buyers are, determined, like this man was, like, I mean, I would help them. You want to be in the house, you cannot see, nobody answers your calls. I see you. I see your need for your house, and he got approved. He bought a house, and furthermore, I learned from him. At that moment, it was maybe 4 years ago, that in few years he would he would change the loan to conventional, and he will use his VA benefits again. And I didn't even know that VA can do that, and that's what he said. But if I'm mistaken, you can correct me as a mortgage expert. But that's what my clients told me, and sometimes I find clients that they teach me something new.
Yeah, even better. A lot of people, he does, depending on the size of the house, you can have more than one VA loan out there. It just needs to be your primary house. So I have a bunch of veterans across the country that will buy a house, they get transferred, and then they'll buy another house VA with their VA eligibility. So it has to do with entitlement. So typically it follows the loan limits. The loan limit's about to be 900,000 for conventional. So with that being said, if you buy 2 houses that are under the 900,000, then you can go VA. So he doesn't necessarily have to convert it to a conventional.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you have that much limit because it's single person household, so we cannot necessarily talk about 900,000, but yeah.
Right. Well, let's talk about you, Kate. A lot of people don't know this, but not only are you a residential real estate professional, you're also a commercial. When did you get into commercial?
So I am known in Houston market for being very aggressive. That might be negative and positive word. Okay, that's why some people love me, others refrain from me. But overall, I have 5-star in all my reviews, and all clients are always pleased, and then they always say I deliver beyond expectations. So in residential, what I feel is very important for people, especially those with children, is for the realtor to know well the neighborhood, know well the schools. I don't have children myself, and I entered the industry as an investor myself. So I have investor mindset, and investing in real estate, residential or commercial, it's just like I feel it's in my blood. Recently, I got CCIM, which is Certified Commercial Investment Member. designation. So now what I'm doing, I'm asking all residential agents to give me their referrals, and I offering very hefty referral, like 30%. So, you know, they refer me that commercial, and I feel the person with my personality is more suited for not necessarily first time home buyer, even though I did service those buyers for 2 years, but more like you know, people that have portfolio of rentals or looking to make next commercial you know, purchase. I don't say I won't do it. I just feel sometimes I might be too much for somebody buying first time the house. But on my videos, people say I was apprehensive, I was scared, and with Kate, everything was easy. So, you know, it's again about service to others and determining what they need. Just before you call me, I had a client from Austin call me. He's like, I want to buy the hotel. I'm like, do you own any hotel? No. Do you own any commercial real estate? He's like, no. And I'm like, well, why you want to do that? Oh, because I have a few millions I want to invest. I'm like, well, I prefer you invest a little bit at the time, you see how you're feeling, and then more than put all your millions as a down payment for one property because you don't have anything. And I want you to be happy and come back every year, make another acquisition with me, not spend everything once and we end. It's like we're lifetime partners. If our clients are happy, we're their lifetime realtor or a lifetime lender. And they never forget us. I don't even do, I know you reprimanded me for this, I don't do any drip campaign or nurture. Like, I'm so
Yep.
impactful in the relationships that people call me even after 2 years or a few months. They lease something, I help them with the little lease, and they're like, I want to buy. I say, well, great. If you can get approved by my friends, you know, call David, see if he can get you approved, then we can talk, because, you know, the realtor can only do stuff when the buyer is approved. So first they got to call you.
I love it. I love it. Well, Kate, as we sit here, was it November 8th, 2024? We're getting to the holiday season. 2025 is just around the corner. What do you expect in the real estate market? What do you think is going to happen in the real estate market in
I
2025?
actually just before our podcast, I was in top producer lunch, and the statistics show that this year the sales were even lower than in 2008, which everybody in US says that it was better. I wasn't here yet, so I don't know what was going on. Don't judge me. But they also said that the sales will increase 40% comparing to this year. So already after election, the rates had improved. You should probably
Yep.
give feedback on that. It's not my field. I'm just selling machine. The rate's going to be better, and the market uncertainty, I don't know the word, how to pronounce the word. Because of election, people want fear to invest because they were waiting. Everybody was waiting. What's going on? What's going to happen? Well, it already happened and the rates dropped. So I'm like, if you're sitting and waiting, there's nothing more to wait, because sellers have been waiting all this months to the election. They're desperate to sell their properties. So they should call you, get this lower rate, then should call me and buy all these properties that we're sitting on the market for 6-7 months, because we can get a good deal negotiated. Most of my sellers are paying right now buyer closing costs because they're so desperate after this lengthy period of wait, you know? So why not to take advantage of that?
I definitely think so. I think we got probably about 3 to 4 months before it turns into a buyer's a seller's market. The reason why I say that is because anybody that has their house on the market right now, they're looking to offload it. All my sellers that had their house on the market that haven't sold it, they've already pulled it off and they're waiting for the springtime to get going. Well, the reality of it is anybody that has a house on the market now, they're willing to negotiate closing costs. They're willing to do whatever so they can get their house sold before the holidays.
And my sellers are educated. They understand I'm their business partner. I'm not their enemy. So I tell them, if you want to move this, we paying all my listings. We paying buyer agents commission, and we paying buyer closing costs. And sellers are aligned with what my advice is, because that's they hire me. If you want to hire me, don't listen to what I tell you. What's the purpose? Either you trust me or you don't trust me. And then I really don't want client that question those decisions, you know, because this is the market we're in. This is strategy we have to, you know, apply to get the results that you want. If we don't, then we just gonna be like everybody else. We're gonna sit. And I don't
Yeah.
want listings. I want closings. I always say that.
That's right. That's right. Well, what I was going to say also is, they're expected millennials and Gen Z. 75 million millennials and Gen Z are expected to buy their first home in the next 2 to 3 years. That age group of millennial and Gen Z is age 29 to 35.
I was
So with
about to
that
ask
being
you what's
said,
the Gen Z because I know I'm millennial, but now I'm a Gen Z. Okay.
Gen Z is the
I'm
next
over
generation.
35, but don't tell anybody.
So that's the next generation. But think about that. There's not 75 million listings out there, and there's not going to be 75 million listings in the next 10 years. So there's going to be an inventory shortage. The population of the United States has done this, but housing's done this. We haven't caught up. So with that being said, they're expected now with the government, with the feds, the last 3 years has been a rising rate market. They're expected the next 2 to 3 years, to be a declining rate market. So I think you might have the perfect storm for a really busy real estate market in the next 2 to 3 years.
Like what you're saying, I have at least 6 properties myself. So when it's a shortage, if anybody needs to buy one residential property, I can sell one of my own, no problem.
That's awesome. Well, Kate, I could sit here and talk to you all day, but I know you got things you got to do, people you need to see.
Yes.
What did we not talk about that we should have talked about today?
What we haven't, but we should. Fear in general, fear. People shouldn't fear to invest and buy their property. So if you're full of fear and you're watching our podcast, you're afraid how much money you need to buy a house, you should call David. If you fear where you should buy a house and why you should buy a house, and you have questions regarding the real estate, you should call me. Everything about money, they should call with you. So I feel fear is the most important driver in the people's minds, not only about real estate, but about many things they do. And I think overcoming that fear with trusted partners like you and I can be life changer for anybody. Just like I mentioned before we got online, my sister, she bought one, then she bought another one. She thanked me. She's like, thank you. And I'm like, but I was the same. We all start somewhere and then we get confident, like with everything else. So people shouldn't be afraid of buying real estate. They should call you to see how much money they can get, and they should call me where they should buy and why.
I love it. Well, Kate, I know the people want to find you. So if the people want to find you, how do they find you? How do they get hold of you?
The best is to text me to schedule a call, because as you can imagine, I'm very busy. If the call is not scheduled, I'm getting upset. So 713-855-0588 is my number. I am also on YouTube and on Instagram, but the best way, it's old style. Don't send me email. I will get gray hair before I see that email. Text me, call me, tell me what you need, and then let's make it happen. Of course, I prefer they first call you to make sure they have the money ready. But we are here to assist, buyers, sellers, and I'm also recently offering coaching to agents that want to grow. They don't understand what to do, how to do, and they just want to be like me, or maybe even like you, because you're big too. So yeah.
I
So
love it. I love it. Well, if you're watching this live and not listening to us, you saw all that go across the lower thirds. We're going to put Kate's number across there. We're going to put her Instagram. We're going to put all of her connections, because I know you guys want to find Kate. If you're looking for real estate in the Houston market, there's only one lady I would advise you to go to, and that's Kate Myhan. You can tell she has a bubbly personality, and it might be even a lot of fun just to go hang out with her a little bit. So with that being said, my name is David Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge. Thank you for tuning in for this podcast today. Thanks, guys. Bye.